Hey guys, it's Patricia and welcome to Design Your Finance, where we talk about financial wellness, finding meaning, and fun in the progress. So, in this episode, we'll be talking about the five love languages that we can identify when it comes to our financial behaviors. How knowing about this can actually better our relationships with others, and how we can use this to understand our own. Lastly, why we shouldn't feel guilty about our money habits, and so much more. So, I am actually making my strawberry drink. Please grab your own drinks as well, and let's dive right in. And we are back. I have this drink, but it's not yet prepared. It's still hot. I'm just waiting for this to cool down so that I can put ice. And yeah, let's start. So I do want to talk about the love languages, where I think this is fairly broadly understood as, people tend to deal and go on with their relationships. I'm so sorry about that. Lulz. Love language is coined by the author Gary Chapman in 1992, and basically what this shows us how we share and show love towards others, and how we also receive love. It has helped a lot of us actually. And so I want to look at this in a financial perspective, and I want to start with the quality time because it's my first and a main love language, which I think hindi naman siya masyadong expensive, come to think of it, because these are individuals whose love language is just quality time, who enjoys really the present moment, who enjoys things planned, anything and everything that you guys are engaging in. That could be just planning out for something nice in the future, or let's just say for tomorrow. It could also be just us talking or going to the park or going somewhere and just really vibing. It doesn't really necessarily make it extravagant. And I think all the love languages na quality time, it's not kana lang ang basis, because every person has unique personalities and different ways how they're dealt with, how they're grown up, what's their current environment. I think love language is just one way of looking at how we communicate our love and affection. To me, again, going back to quality time, it's just a simple thing of turning off the TV or turning off, any sort of distraction while I am talking or this person's talking. And that goes to show also that phones, either phone down on the table or not on the table. And I've already practiced that since it's a personal choice. I've practiced that because I don't ever want the other person to feel sort of any disrespect, because I'm just here checking my phone and it feels like I wanted to leave, or I don't want to be in your presence. And that to me is important as well. But I'm not actually picky on that. I have, but yeah, sometimes hindi siya sort of pet peeve, but kind of in the middle. I mean, I'm okay naman. It's not hala, wag mo na, friendship over, FO, kay imo na siya gibuhat sa akin. It's not like that. I mean, okay naman siya if panagsa, diba? But during the whole hour or during the time na nagstorya mo, kay siguro gyud siya tanaw, and it's what, I do want to leave or something, so go, please. I don't want to keep you with whatever it is that you're waiting for. But I do have friends who are sensitive to even just saying, oh wait, I have to check my phone, ha, please pause or something like that. And I appreciate that, because of course it's not all the time. What if na emergency, diba? So I also have to be considerate about that. But for them to even tell me that, that's perfectly understandable. Financial wise, sorry, you don't really need to spend a lot of money, although time is what we needed. I'm sorry. You don't have to spend a lot of money for me or for this person to feel special, because if you just like ask this person to go out with you or just random walks lang, and coffee baron or things like that, so it's okay lang if you don't want to spend, or you have no money to spend, you have no budget, and you still want to be with that person, then it's fine. I think actually I've been in that place na there's this person I wanted to spend time with, but I don't have like enough money because, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Saan nanggaling? I thought naka-mute yung phone ko. I'm sorry. Yeah, so see, those are the types of examples na you get distracted when there's a notif. Going back. OMG. Honestly, I kind of forgot where I was, so. Nakakahiya. Okay. So there's actually this website I found who has like financial advice, and I think this is also like is an insurance company, I believe. It says here, if your love language is quality time, you care deeply about protecting your relationship and future together. So, you're most likely to purchase financial protection products, including life insurance. However, they tend to want to wait until after getting married to bring up life insurance or end of life. Plus, they're most likely to own the most financial products of all the love languages, meaning they are well prepared and informed. Okay, well prepared. I mean, I watch a lot of sci-fi apocalyptic movies like The Walking Dead. I love it. And they just show you a lot of realities, like what would happen, and it's really all about survival. I like to be prepared. I enjoy having my own tool belt, and I prefer to be the one who gives help or offers help rather than asking for help. So, yeah, it's a sort of a pride as well, but some things you could do based on love languages. So maybe in your own personal finance journey, you could schedule recurring money dates with each other, because again, if you don't want to like spend on dates, I mean, you can be creative enough to do things that doesn't necessarily require money, or at least a few pesos lang siguro. Like I said, like if you just want to go in the park, or just hang out and buy your coffee, or make your coffee at home and things like that. So although limited lang siya, it's incomparable to before, before pandemic, but at least doable. No one's gonna stop you naman, di ba? It gives you and your significant other an opportunity to share progress, ideas, and suggestions. About this, like sharing progress, ideas, and suggestions, this is sort of like, I mean, this is actually the whole intention of me being here, actually, creating content and things like that. Even though there are times now, I don't really, I don't have that background, I don't have that particular qualifications, but it's a way for me to share my progress, share like ideas and suggestions, and that in itself is already what makes me feel love and how I show love. So the fact that, and it's because I love to teach, and it's easier for me to understand concepts if I can teach them, that's already enough for me. And yeah, I love you guys. So I am actually a dominant person. I don't like waiting around. I usually initiate, and for most times, if I don't initiate, it could be like a personality check sa akin. Because there are times na nag-change good akong, I don't know, habits, I don't, personality. There are times na di gid ako feel mo initiate, but most of the time I do, especially when I don't know how to do it. Whenever I have someone and I rely on them, it just means that I trust you, and I'm curious to know how you lead me. My love language. Okay, moving on to affirmation, right? Words of affirmation. This includes hearing supportive and encouraging sentiments from your partner. If positive reinforcement makes you feel loved and supported, you'll appreciate genuine praise for the work and progress you've made up to this point. So, if you're Love language is words of affirmation. You prioritize feeling secure and are working toward the ultimate security symbol, which is a home. Yeah, there are people also, like if you're that person who likes, like dili ka mo shock, when someone praises you for the work that you did and not necessarily for how you look. I think there's this one video na nakita na ko, like this woman said na she somehow feels offended when people praise her for her looks, but she learned that she had to stop saying to other girls like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so pretty. Nice eyes, gorgeous hair, something something like that." Parang nag-call out lang sa privilege niya in the sense na okay, you're blessed to have this feature, so it's a good job. Whereas when you praise someone that is related to the work that they did or to the effort that they exerted, am I making sense? Because if you tell someone like, okay, I admire you for the courage that you did, regardless if you know the story or not, but it's more of like painting that personality and identity of the person because of what they actually did, not because of they're born that way, right? So lain sa kayo mo affirm ra ka because this person's pretty and katong dili or tanaw nimo dili siya gwapa or dili siya smart, then 'di ba, like it's unfair. So I think I used to like tell girls and like comment on other girls like, "Ha, ka pretty nimo," and things like that. But actually, it's not the highest form of affirmation, but rather katulang yung, like, oh, you're very brave, you're very courageous, like, oh, you actually did a good work. Like, I admire you for reaching out, for doing this, for showing up, and all these things. So I like shifted na. Their main way to receive love is that they value feeling secure in every aspect of their lives. So, one way they do this is by starting conversations around tougher topics early on, so much sooner. I've got my ice now. That was good. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so for words of affirmation, these are individuals. This is a group who values security and they do want to talk about, like having a joint bank accounts. Having just these conversations earlier helps them work towards larger goals because I think they really wanted, most of them, wanted to buy a home. In conversations like that, it's very easy to, I mean, I would say it's very easy to talk about it, but it's hard to initiate it because there's this judgment that even in the workplace, 'diba, we don't really like talk about the salaries, which I think we should good, even though that people like the HR are telling us na like it's a secret, kay it's more of like personal daw siya nga chuchu, but it's actually how you know if you're being well paid or not. Sometimes also like there are instances na I don't know, like personal. I don't know. You tell me, guys. But I feel like unfair siya ba? Because, for example, if bago ka nag-start to work and then you would want to figure out like how much is enough or how much good ang entry level for this particular job, and wala kay ma-ask because everyone's just shutting out. Like they don't want to share it. So you won't really know. It's hard to tell, but with conversations about money in terms of couples, like it's actually, I mean, now I can say na easier na siya because there are a lot of, like, I wouldn't say rules, but there's a lot of like guides na you can check out and use it. So you can do that with your partners. And I feel like mas ma-learn nimo ang imuhang partner, and you'd appreciate that person just because you have this idea of him or her when it comes with his money habits. One thing I also like remember out of this is like Megan Young and Mikael Daes, like they also do this like behind relationship goals, the podcast. And they talked about this, ang remember na ko is about credit cards. And like listening to their conversations. And I think Mikael said to Megan na the moment when Megan was like upfront about her money habits, her credit card mistakes, and yeah, like behaviors, parang nag-change it because according to Mikael, he really wanted to let Megan be responsible for it, but at the same time, just he just wanted to make sure that Megan is secure. And if worst comes to worst, like ang mag-help probaya niya is the partner is Mikael. So it's just the two of them, diba? So yeah, they actually had a conversation, and they also shared it in a podcast episode. So feel free to check their podcast as well. It's very good. I really love it. When it comes to couples, they're like one of the go-to couples, especially in terms of money, because Mikael is also like particular with the personal finance thing, and yeah, the money guy is a relationship. And then yeah, so I think wait, I have a note here that says, "OMG, wait, so this is also me." I mean, I don't think so, but because of my profession, I realized that talking about this on set in the relationship would be so much easier. So yeah, notes ka lang. As I said, I'm a planner. I want to have an idea about all these things, what you bring to the table, how can I help? I have no problem with commitment, but if I can't see a future with you, a business, etc., I ain't gonna try it. I don't like waiting, so boy, commitment is a very long time. I have to be sure. Commitment is a very long time. I have to be sure. Although we won't know, right, in the future, but at least you have this idea, you sort of see a future with this person, knowing about their money behaviors, habits, and basically starting with that also like helpful good siya along the way. Okay, so some things you could do based on this love language, all right? You can practice words of affirmation on your own, whether you post in inspirational words on a mirror or sa phone ba nimo nga wallpaper or even your laptop. Somewhere i-frame ba nimo nga makita gid nimo. And then you can also seek words of affirmation through a financial coach. So someone who could, be your accountable buddy to tell you and to remind you na ups, where are you in your goal? Or like, just be motivated then. It's not just parang show jealousy like type. No nega feelings here. So if you're also into manifesting, accountability, and vision boards, you can also do that. That's also one way of affirming yourself because you're manifesting. Duh. The third one is acts of service. If your love language is this, you express love by doing something for your partner that you know they'd appreciate. For example, let's see, this person has a hobby na you have no idea about how this hobby works, but because you love him, you like him, you show care. It's also a way na you can actually get to know this person. You somehow put yourself in this shoes. This is actually my second love language, acts of service. So I feel loved and I show love when I take interest in the things you are interested in or kung sa mong hobbies. So it's that's why I think this one confuses me with the quality time is because I also take the time to really learn if you're interested in this. I really, try asking questions. I tend to research about it, and the example, if gamer ka, I would try to like play games and try to see nga nang nalingaw ka na what makes you, because for me man when I see that person being in that happy state or being in that sort of like if they're doing that hobby and parang naglight yung person eh. To me, all I see are like eyes just glowing and sparklings because they're so happy, diba? And I tend to fall in love with that. I try to see, and especially for me, the way I receive it as well is when you're interested in the things I am interested in, and I sort of like, okay, for example, if I'm on a meeting and you also like try to be there and try to you show up and bahalag wala like di ka relate, but at least you try to be in the present. You really go out of your way just to be with me and things like that. So yeah, there is that. In terms of your financial behaviors, you're fiscally responsible and know the importance of paying down debt. And you're willing to help your partner do this as well. So, see, it's like in terms, if this person has like a particular debt, of course, the way you show love to this person, and because mong love language is you try your best to also help out this person. Because, yeah, you don't want that person to be in debt. So, more likely, this is also where the danger of, I mean, I wouldn't say danger, but sort of like negative, I'd say. It could be a negative, it could be a positive thing. But on the negative note, when you marry a person nga na siya dead, it's actually affected na gid ka. Because it's like, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine kind of thing. But it's also like a good thing na you have someone to help you out, especially at the time nga naglisod gid ka. So if you know that budgeting isn't your partner's strength, help them with their personal budget. Actually, you can help them out, but my like sort of advice, take it or leave it, is to just show them how they do it, how they should do it, instead of you doing it, because ang tendency manggod na ikaw ang musalo sa iyang trabaho is because number one, magsalig siya sa imo, and or two, di siya makahibaw na. So by the time na nawala ang couple, nawala ang partner, or worst case scenario, namatay ang partner and things like that, then dili na makahibaw ang partner, 'di ba? It's nice that you can help out, and if strength gid na niya, yeah, you can like assign that, let's say, budgeting to this person, but that doesn't mean nga dili na ka magbuhat sa imong own type of budgeting. You also do balance and check, di ba? Remember not to do this by yourself. There's this thing couples do that the guy works and earns, but the wife is in charge of the spending. Yeah, so it's not all bad, what I'd say. It's not all bad, but if your significant other is okay with this arrangement and it works for you, why not? There's also the practice of having separate accounts or joint accounts. Like, there's a lot of articles and research about this one. If you as a couple, asa mo lean in, it all boils down to personality and how you guys trust each other. And I think that's also like a different level of trust, nasad. But yeah, in the end, ang inyo ra gyud ba yung main purpose is to live peacefully and be with each other. Oh, see, my last note. The most important thing is that you both have the transparency of the cash flow and financial statement. So you do balance and checks. The fourth one, let's go. Let's get it on. Let's drink first. Okay. The second to the last love language is gifts or gift giving. So some mistake this love language as being materialistic. I understand where they're coming from. And it says here it's not the material item that's important for someone with this love language, rather the thought behind it. I'm not really particular with the gift or like with the brand. As long as gamito na ako, magamit siya, and yeah, I can understand where the thought, like the intention and the thought behind it, then I would understand na it's something important yun sa imo. But these days, it slowly changed because I think of the lockdowns. So there is that factor na you can't really spend time with this person because busy siya, busy ka. It takes a lot it takes time to actually get there, and muna di sa takagawas and really things like that. So the only way to show you is, gift giving. Like there's no other choice, diba? But not all the time naman. Like, it's good if panagsa. Because that doesn't mean if ang imuhang love language is acts of service, then you're just gonna do service your whole life. It's not like that. It changes naman po. So according to this one, if your love language is receiving, you appreciate the finer things in life, but also highly value non tangible gifts like the gift of education. Yes, that is true. That means if you're a parent, you prioritize saving for your children's education. And I believe, like, oh my gosh, a lot can happen with the like 18 years such a child. 18 years is a good time, is an ample time actually for you to save on the college or the education for your children. Instead nga imuhang utangon ang imong tuition niya, it's nice that you've actually thought about it na when they're still like 1 year old or 2 years old. Because again, mo play out mo ang compounding interest. So there is also that. Plus you also like build in the habit of, the discipline to invest and not just have this mindset of get rich quick. Let's continue reading. Sorry. The survey found that this group loves nice things, so when they're looking for a partner, they're attracted to someone who offers financial security, budgeting skills, and career stability. Understandable? Financial stability was a constant top trait among all love languages. While all other groups chose intelligence and humor as top traits, interestingly, this group chose two additional financial focus traits, which is budgeting and career. Because sa time karon, there's no such thing as, ano, complicated na siya, actually. Or maybe because I've grown a little, grown wiser, grown in age. Mas na complicated na ang life. You have all these things that you need to, consider. 'Di ba? Kung na kay family, you have to think of the families as well, not just imuhang sake. Remember, your family cannot choose you, but you can always choose whether you want a family, you want your own kids, whether you want this person to be your husband or wife. Please don't negate me because I'm as much as confused as you guys, but if ako papilion, I would understand. So, some things you could do based on this is you treat yourself after reaching a financial goal. Whether your goal is to save your first 100,000 emergency fund or pay off your loans, your debts, make sure na this is something na dili nimo permintihon. If you've already done this and you've rewarded yourself, then move on to the next goal. Not that permi na lang nga na reward is because sometimes magod maglibog na ta kung which one's a reward or excuse lang. If you know what I mean. Yeah, so this can also work if you and your partner share finances. You come up with a reward that you both will enjoy after reaching a joint goal. So I think that's also fun. I would like that as well. You just really have to make sure kung which one works for you, or if you want a joint account or not, or both. But the most important thing is like both of you know good. Be transparent good with all the accounts that you have and all the transactions. Cause I swear, gubot kayo if wala and mag-iyahay mo. Two becoming one. That's marriage. And the last love language is physical touch. Now, this one could be challenging because you have to be physically present in order to feel loved and to show affection, right? This, in terms of your personal finance, this is something that has to do with you holding, like, let's say, the cash and something that you could really see. I think that these are some people who have cash in their wallets, cash in the banks, or in other vehicles that they could, withdraw easily. For me, it's challenging, especially in the times we're in right now. But I still think that there's a lot of things in which you can actually do this. I mean, one example is still using like the Gcash app or any payment systems, even using a debit card instead of the credit card, because online banking is so much easier right now. Then I can see all my transactions, all the history. That is also one way. But if you really wanted the feeling of physically touching it, then I do believe that you can work with the cash envelope systems. You have one envelope or one like folder for this certain type of expenses, and then another one for your wants or other needs. You could have a system for that. And I believe that that's also one of the easiest thing anyone, especially in the beginner stage of personal finance, because this can also help you systemize and build discipline in your lifestyle, in your life, basically. Again, here in the Philippines, we still operate on a cash system, but there are other ways like apps that we have now that we're more likely to be there, like Shopee. So it's more on the online system. We do online transfers or fund transfers, credit cards and debit cards. And the easiest one is the Gcash because we just cash in the money and use it as the payment mode, right? Some people also still go to the banks and do their transactions there is because of the security issues. But with cash, when you only have, for example, you have 1000 pesos in your wallet and you spend, let's say, half of it, 500 pesos. So you can literally see your 1000 pesos becoming 500. And there's that emotional and mental thinking like, oh, I'm losing money. Whereas in credit cards, you can only see the plastic card once you've finished your transaction. When you get it back, you don't really see your money like going down, right? Unless you check your online banking, you check the system. Only then can you feel that emotional, right? Especially in the times when you need to pay back. You can almost feel like the urge to not pay it because it's a big chunk of money that you have to pay for your credit card bills. Remember, you still have to think of all the things that's actually like doable for you, that's actually right for you, because not everything can be applicable to you, especially in terms of your personality, your lifestyle, your goals and dreams. So take everything with a grain of salt and always do your own research. Make sure you finish due diligence and always have a backup plan. So I do want to end this podcast because I feel like I'm way beyond my initial plan. I do want to keep this on a like hopefully 30 minutes type of podcast. Yeah, I think at maximum would be like around 45 minutes. I'm actually happy that I've finished this one now. Although I don't have the video for the last part because I'm recording now on a different setup. With that said, all these love languages have different like personalities as well because it depends. These things could change over time and in different lifestyle, in different situations, and like different beliefs, right? You could probably be in the physical touch, and next thing you know, your love language could change to quality time. There's no one thing, there's no number one. That's why I did not rank these love languages. Yeah, I hope that it will help. Personal finance is a very tricky one. It's actually based on personal. So it doesn't really matter whether she's doing this or he's doing that. It all matters to how it's working out for you. We are growing and changing, hopefully for the better. And I hope this is also one thing that could really push you to change if you really want that change and you're tired of all the bullshit and stuff. So that's about it. I really stink at this closing segment, but yeah, that's it. Mata na yun.